in the next 6 months?
Well, this is the start of the entire trial. We're starting with the first of 6 phases. Each phase or cycle constitutes of 6 months of growth. We are now in the establishment phase, about to start the trial data collection. What we're anticipating in the next 6 months would be, for the first month or so, for the plants just to establish, create a proper root system and get acclimatized to this particular environment. And then what we're expecting after that is a rapid growth, an increase in biomass, a branching off, creating, instead of having a single stem, a multiple stem plant, reaching heights of around 1.5 to 1.8 meters. That is what we are anticipating, and for the next 6 months, since this is now middle of winter, approaching spring, and ultimately adds to the excitement, isn't it?
I won't tell anybody.
You should actually have.
No way, I don't want to kill anybody.
Under pressure now.
I'm filming. Come on, get on with it.
Are you filming? I'll take your photographs.
You put all the hard work here.
All right.
Here as well.
Definitely, you deserve it.
Now that the camera is on us, we have to play the part.
Careful, it's very expensive champagne.
Oh, is it? Okay, you want to open it?
Go ahead.
Right.
Oh.
That's perfect. And unwasted. Most important thing.
Right.
Thank you very much. Wait to toast. I'll get one of you.
Maureen?
Or I'll take one of my phone.
I'll pass it over to you. Maureen?
I'll get a group photo with you guys.
That'd be lovely. Okay.
This is yours,
Yeah, we're
Kevin.
going to give that to Max.
Thank you.
Perfect.
My small little mouth. I don't think we're closing those.
And then for a show.
One for Louis?
Hopefully.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
One for Max. Oh, Max tastes good. Okay, we got enough.
You guys want
And then one for a shot, so she'll fall asleep on the way home.
a group photo?
The advantage of using Glauca for biodiesel feedstock. It has the potential for large-scale production without directly competing with food crops. The advantage of using Glauca as biodiesel feedstock is that it can be produced on a large scale without directly competing with food crops. The advantage of using Glauca as biodiesel feedstock is that it has the potential for large-scale production without directly competing with food. The advantage of using Glauca as biodiesel feedstock is that it has the potential for large-scale production without directly competing with food crops. We hope to find out from this trial what is the viable yield of the Glauca crop per hectare that can be turned into biodiesel.
Yep. Cool.
Okay.
Okay. We hope to learn from this Glauca trial what is the viable yield of this crop per hectare that can be turned into biodiesel. Well, there's many other things we hope to discover during this project. First of all is the quality of biodiesel that we're producing. Can it pass international standards for fuel? Another question that we're hoping to learn is how do we integrate into an existing biodiesel production line, incorporating biomass and yielding biodiesel from Glauca. Well, there's many other things we're hoping to discover during the process of this trial. One of those things is identifying what is the quality of the biodiesel that can be produced from the Glauca plant. Will it pass international standards? Another thing we're hoping to learn is how can we take the Glauca plant, incorporate chemical processes, and incorporate it into our current production line to be able to yield biodiesel.
And we are ready when you're ready.
Okay, Louis, what would the advantage be to producing biodiesel from Glauca?
Well, we think the big advantage of Glauca for biodiesel production is that it has the potential to provide scale, lots and lots of feedstock, which most importantly won't compete with food production crops.
Nice. Let's do that one more time. I'm just going to
That was good.
sort out. Okay.
Louis, what would the advantage be to producing biodiesel from Glauca?
Well, we think that the big advantage of Glauca as a feedstock for the biodiesel process is that it has the potential to do it at real scale without competing with food crop production.
Okay. Louis, what would the advantage be to producing biodiesel from Glauca?
We think the big advantage of using Glauca as a feedstock for biodiesel production is that it has the potential to do so at real scale, but most importantly without competing with food stock production. I meant to say food crop production.
It's okay. One more time.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Louis, what would the advantage be to producing biodiesel from Glauca?
We think that the big advantage of using Glauca as a feedstock for the biodiesel production is that it has the potential to do so at real scale, but most importantly without competing with food crop production.
Biodiesel production.
The most important thing that we're hoping to establish through this trial is exactly how much biodiesel we can produce per hectare of the Glauca crop that is being grown.
Yeah, that's great. Let's do that one more time so it's nice and fluid.
Is that the right answer? It was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yield.
yield, wasn't it? Okay.
What is the most important thing the MultiBioPro project will find out from the biodiesel production?
Well, the most important thing that we're aiming to establish through the Glauca trial is exactly what the yield will be of biodiesel produced per hectare of Glauca that is grown.
Nice. Yeah.
There are a number of other key questions which we're hoping we can answer through the Glauca trial as well. The first one, most importantly, is whether we can produce biodiesel of sufficient quality that it will pass the international tests that are required for commercially available biodiesel. The second thing is more to do with, I've forgotten what the second thing is. What was the second thing? It was
Modifying the production line.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. Okay. Should I just go from the second thing?
Yeah.
Okay. The second thing is how exactly do we get from the Glauca biomass, the plants and the leaves, to something that we can put into a factory like this and produce the biodiesel from?
This trial.
There are a number of other key questions which we're hoping to answer through the Glauca trial. The first one is whether we can produce biodiesel from the Glauca feedstock which is of sufficient quality that it'll pass the international standards which are required for commercially available biodiesel. The second thing is just how do we get from the Glauca biomass, the plants and the leaves, to something which can be put into the biodiesel manufacturing process in a factory like this.
That's great.
Not that complicated. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to fill in a few gaps in from what we saw yesterday, growing a plant, to producing a product which is a commercial product. And that's what the project is all about. So I think something along those lines might work.
Okay.
But I like the farm to fuel
Yeah,
idea as well.
it's catchy.
Certainly is that.
So move this way slightly, okay, and a bit more. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, great, perfect. Now face towards Jamie slightly. Done.
Okay.
And we're ready.
So Louis, yesterday we were at the farm site. So how do you get from farm to fuel?
Well, I think that's a very good question of how we get from farm to fuel. And really that's what a lot of the
Let's do that. Let's do that again. That's quite loud. Right.
Well, Louis, yesterday we were at the Glauca trial site. So how do we get from farm to fuel?
I think it's a very good question of exactly how do we get from farm to fuel, from the Glauca growing trial through to industrial production like this that's producing a commercial biodiesel project. And that's what the Glauca growing trial within MultiBioPro is hoping to establish. We know that we've got the biodiesel process sorted out, and it's not a hugely complicated process either. We want to try and fill in the gaps to get from plant to the feedstock that we can put into a production facility like this.
Let's do that one more. When you're ready?
Okay. So, Louis, yesterday we were at the Glauca farm site. So how do we get from farm to fuel?
I think it's a good question to consider how we get from farm to fuel for the commercial production of biodiesel. And we've seen how we're growing the glauca at the trial site. What we're trying to do through the multi-bio process is to show how the feedstock from the glauca trial can be used to determine exactly how to adjust the biodiesel manufacturing process in terms of temperature and other parameters to produce the quality of biodiesel that is needed for commercial production.
Yeah, that's
That's really
great.
good.
I think that's really okay. And when you're ready,
I'm Professor Fraser from Royal Holloway, London University, and I'm one of the partners in the multi-bio product project.
one more time.
I'm Professor Fraser from Royal Holloway, London University, and I'm one of the partners in the multi-bio project.
That's great. Okay, yeah. Did you want a longer one or just
No, I think that's fine.
fantastic?
That's fine.
Okay. Okay, let's do the interview.
So if you look at me, and I'll just frame a very brief question which you can then do your piece to.
Okay, when you're ready.
Okay. So Paul, here we are today in the Neutral Fuels biodiesel facility. What do you think that this biodiesel factory is bringing to the Multi-Bio Pro project?
Well, this is a long way from the research laboratories of most of the partners in the multi-bio project, but it really shows how our discovery in laboratories can be taken through and start being implemented into commercial practice.
Okay, so let's do that again. That's great. That's a nice answer. You stay where you are. Yeah. Now I just want you to, when you're giving the answer, if you just look. Yeah. There. Perfect. That's great. Okay, let's do that one again.
Okay. So Paul, here we are at the Neutral Fuels biodiesel facility. What do you think that a production facility like this can bring to the Multi-Bio Pro project?
Well, this is a long way from the research laboratories of most of the partners in the multi-bio project, but it's really important to see how the discoveries that are being made in those laboratories can be implemented and start in the process of commercialisation.
Nice.
Great.
You happy with that?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I think that's fine.
Any others?
No? Is there anything else you
Or
want to add?
feasibility, should we change it? No, it's
Well, I mean, you made it clear that there was a sort of conditional. It'd be interesting to see the progress that can be made. You didn't say we're definitely doing this now and it's happening. So I think there's enough of a sort of conditional tense to it.
Can we just do the introduction again? Just for my sake. If you could move slightly to your right, further forwards. Yeah, perfect. Okay, and when you're ready.
I'm Professor Paul Fraser from Royal Holloway, London University, and I'm one of the partners in the multi-bio project.